everyone, it's Seamonster80, otherwise known as Batemon LOL, and this is a game where I was playing Annie. As you can see, this is being recorded in spectator mode. I left the Fog of War on, and I'm trying to see if I can turn off. Well, whatever. We're just going to leave it like that. So, the game started off where I'd followed our jungler into, well, the jungle to try to get an idea of what I could do to help him, and then the opposing team invaded. Well, this kind of screwed our jungler up a bit because he didn't have the chance to get his wolves, and it kind of set us back when we decided to help him get the blue, because by the time I got back into lane, which you'll see here in a second. Now, part of this is my fault because I did chase Draven because I thought we had a shot at getting him, but we didn't really. By the time, and now I'm going to slow it down. By the time I get back in the lane, Elise is level 2, and I was still level 1. So I did a pretty good job of last hitting here. And as I was going through, I was hoping to try to catch up. But she just was way ahead of me throughout this entire game. And you'll see as time goes on, I start to get beat up. Now, what I have to say as a caveat in advance is I'm not a mid player. I play jungle 95% of the time, and given that this is not a jungle, not a game where I play jungle, I played Annie. I actually end up doing pretty decently. So I'm going to talk about the mistakes I make as I go through. Now this is just the jungling phase, or just the laning phase, and as you can see, there's nothing really going on. And we're both level 4. She now hits 5. And we're just trying to hit our creeps. Well, what happens here is I see that I'm starting to get a little low, so I kind of back off. And at some point, now that she's hit 6, I know that she has her ultimate up, and her ultimate has a real good chance of eating me up pretty badly. So I've allowed her to push me the whole ways back, and what this is doing is taking away my CS. Now, at some point right here, I believe it is, Cho'Gath comes to help me. Now, help is a relative term when he decided to leave. I didn't notice that. But Cho'Gath is trying to signal me here to get Elise, but he misses his rupture, and that brings Olaf in, and of course I end up dying. So we're going to speed this up again until I come back to life, and we're just running back to lane. Now part of that was my fault. It was a gank, but I let myself get a little overexcited by the presence of Cho'Gath. I probably could have prevented that gank, and it's just one of those things that you kind of live and learn, because like I said, I'm not a mid player. Now here I should have taken my own advice and really backed off of her, because she's level 8, I'm level 6. You will see I get lucky here at some point, and that's not it. But it's going back and forth. She got chased off by Cho'Gath, which is nice. Cho'Gath was actually able to chase her off, given the fact that he's still only level 5 and she's level 8. Now she hits her ultimate, and I throw up my shield, hoping to negate some of the damage. And when I do here is I ultimate, it stunned her, and I was able to kill her off and get some damage on the turret. So at this point, I've caught up some. She and I have pulled even on levels. I'm level 8. She's also level 8. She does have her ultimate back up, which I see her come out in spider form. So when she's in spider form, that was when I was the most concerned. Now, I'll slow it down, and actually, she came up and hit me pretty hard. I'm actually going to go back just a little bit. You see here, she jumps on me and then ignites me, and I knew I was done. I got a little overzealous, and I could have probably prevented that death, by hugging the tower a little more. I'm not as familiar with all of the enemy champions as I'd like to be, and Elise is definitely one that I'm not familiar with hardly at all. But you can see we go back and forth throughout this game. I mean, the kills and deaths are 7-7 right now. The gold is actually in our team's favor, despite the fact that it seems like we were getting rampaged on a little bit. And again, I'm going to jump back here because I skipped over it. I get ganked because I get overexcited because I'm like, oh, I can get her. I pop Tibbers and there's Olaf. And he manages to gank me. So now I'm 1-3 and way behind because Elise is 3-1 because she's taken out myself and she's taken myself out and she's taken out Teemo. So now I'm coming back to the lane. And again, I keep saying it, but the mistakes I made, a lot of them are because I don't play mid. Same thing happened there. Elise jumped on me, thinking I was an easy kill, and you see she hits me, jumps on me, nails me. I hit her with Ignite right there because I knew she was within range of the tower, and I managed to kill her off. That was a 1-for-1 suicide. Worth it? Probably. Now, somebody later on in the game tells me I should have started off Blasting Wand as opposed to this Catalyst, the Protector. I didn't know what to build, so I was building her recommended items. And I think it worked pretty well for me. But again, here, I get so excited, I dive in, and I die. The thing I've learned, and the thing that I would tell people that are watching this video, is that if you're not sure what you're doing, you need to be cautious. You need to take a step back and try not to die. Now I'm going to slow this down to the ×2. Because what I do here is I see that there's some fighting going on the bottom, and I move to assist. Now, there you can see, again, getting a little too excited, but the top took out their turret, and as I'm going back, bottom takes out their turret. So now we're up by 2 turrets, and really starting to do pretty well. Despite the fact that I'm 2-5, the rest of the team is not doing too bad, but my 2-5 is really probably what had held us back to this point in the game. I see here that I had 3 people in my lane, and then suddenly they all disappeared, and I didn't call MIA, which nobody gave me hell for, but I probably should have been given hell for. Another thing that you need to see as a newer player, and I was so angry at the fact that I didn't get Elise there because she had just a little sliver of life. But I've noticed one thing that myself, especially as a new player who doesn't lane very much, I tend not to call my MIAs, and that really is detrimental to your team. But here you see I'm sticking with my team. This is the point in the game where I noticed Cho'Gath wasn't building tank. We didn't have a tank at all. So me standing behind Cho'Gath was doing nothing. Is that he was building an AP Cho'Gath at one point. Now granted, I looked at his items, and he's got a Thorn Mail, and he's got Ninja Tab, and he's got Spirit Stone. But my death right there could have been prevented simply by not diving in so deeply. I dove right into the middle of all 5 of them and got quickly annihilated. But at this point, I'm up to my Rod of the Ages, which is pretty good. I have my Sorcerer's Shoes, and I have my Doran's Ring that I started with, which wasn't a horrible choice. Now you'll see here at this point of the game, we're down by 5 kills. The gold is still in our favor because we've taken out 3 more turrets than they have. But that's it. Now here I make a little bit of a mistake. I didn't realize that that outer turret was still there. And my team gave me a little bit of hell for that. And I deserved it because I didn't have map awareness. So, biggest things that I'm learning from this game in particular, because I don't play very often, in mid or any lane is map awareness, is not diving in and trying to stay behind a tank, and making sure that I call my MIAs. They seem like basic fundamentals to people who've played for a while, but when you don't do anything except jungle really, and jungle tends to be a position that not a lot of people take, you end up in the position that I was in this game. So now I'm 2-6, and the game seems to be kind of hitting that stage where we're starting to get a little behind, and we're going back and forth, and right there I nailed a double kill. And if you see what happens, it actually was a lucky double kill, because what I do here is Nami gets taken out very quickly at the beginning of this fight. See her die here, right there. She gets wasted. I don't even know what hit her. But right there, they bunched up right in front of me, and I used her fan of flame, I think is what it's called, attack, and hit all of them with the fan of flame, and Tibbers at the same time. And Tibbers and the fan of flame, what Tibbers will do is he'll stun them, and then you hit him with the fan of flame. Elise and I ran past each other there, which I was grateful for because she was level 15 and I was level 12. But what it did was Tibbers stunned, and then I unleashed the fan of flame and nailed a whole bunch of people. And here we started pushing. You'll see that right there. Okay, maybe it already happened. That Olaf had tried to push back. Oh yeah, he was already dead. Olaf had tried to kind of push back against us, and it didn't work real well. But we lost Kate there, and she was complaining towards the end of the game that she was getting targeted. I think if you're an attack damage, an ADC, you kind of have to realize that that's what they're going to do, is they're going to target fire you. Now we get into this big team fight. Cho'Gath nails a double kill, Teemo gets a kill, and it's going pretty well at this point. We managed to take out this turret and this inhibitor despite the fact that Elise is kind of harassing us a little bit. And here I backed out. Another thing I've learned is it's important to back out after you've taken an inhibitor like that, because more than likely the timing of them being down is not long enough for you to keep pushing. Now here I go back and I get my blue buff. Now I didn't see these guys right there. I probably would have left if I had seen them. I saw Leona, but that was it. We had no ward coverage throughout this game, or when we did have wards, they were very poor. And right there, I got in a one-on fight with Leona. Let me tell you what you don't do as Annie. What you don't do as Annie is get in a one-on-one fight with Leona, because you will die, just like I did. Now here I'm 4-7-3. Starting to kind of build the stats a little bit. We'll go fast up to the point where I get back in with the rest of my team. Go ahead and hit Dragon, because we could tell that they were all back in their base. Easy 190 gold for each of the players. And now we're just running around. I run up to where I see Cho'Gath and Kate, and we start poking away at this tower, trying to knock this tower down. And here we kind of go into the bush. I had hoped what Cho'Gath was going to do was go back into the fray, but he didn't, not voluntarily. And there I nailed Elise again, because I hit her with Tibbers, hit her with the fan of flame. It really was just the perfect storm for me to hit a kill there. And now we have all of our people in one lane. We go in, take out this turret, push up to this inhibitor turret, and take another turret down, push up to this inhibitor, and this is where we kind of were starting to press our luck. There was 3 of us, and by this point their entire team, except their entire team had respawned. And it was starting to cause us, we were starting to get a little, it was starting to cause some issue for us. But we managed to get back. I managed to get back myself. Now Cho'Gath had died, but somebody pinged on Baron, and as soon as we got that, or they pinged Baron. I'm sorry, that wasn't where we pinged Baron. So there you see they started pinging on Nami and Caitlyn, and I hid in the bush here because I didn't know if they had anything or not, but I nailed Tibbers, hit Leona with my Q, and as we come around here, we catch Shen out. I nailed him with my Q, managed to kill him off. And so now they have 3 down. It's the perfect time to hit Baron. We run in, wipe Baron out, and then they're they're pinging to see if Baron was still there. Baron obviously is gone because we killed him. And I got on a rampage by killing Leona off there. But again, I went into a position where it was me in the middle of 4 enemies. As a mid, as an AP carry, you simply don't have the ability to be defensive enough to take that kind of damage. Cho'Gath dies, Kate pulls off a double kill, is chasing Shen, manages to get Shen, Leona has respawned at that point. Now I'm running in to try to help out my team because I see they're the whole ways on the other end of the map, and I'm running up as fast as I possibly can. And what happens here is I realized we were up 36 to 27 and we had taken 8 towers and they had only taken 2. So I'm running around. I decided to go down. Nami, I believe, pinged our red, and I'm trying to help Cho'Gath out a little bit, get it done a little bit faster so he can get it. She pings the blue, so I run up and grab our blue because it's very useful for your AP carry to have your blue. And now here comes another pretty big fight. Once we finally get us all together, I dropped Tibbers. I managed to hit Olaf, take out Shen as he breaks off to the left. Kate takes out both Olaf and Draven. Now we're pushing in towards their base. Again, trying to take out their blue. And we do. And I have their blue. And I think this is the point where we decided it was just time to push in finally the whole ways into their base. We take out another inhibitor. And I think it's always a good idea. You saw there was a lot of damage suddenly popped up on the screen. Again, that was because I used that Fan of Flames ability. And basically what happens here is we push this last tower. The only person left on their team is Leona. And that's an ace on Leona, so they have nobody else up. And that's the end of the game. So I thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's Baymon LOL signing out.